Welcome. We're here
at a much more reasonable time than last week.
Yes, we're not going into the night. As you can see, I still have daylight illuminating through my window right here. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Batman the Fan-imated stream, where me and Scott, of course, or Scott and I should say, discuss episodes of Batman the Animated Series. I mean, sorry that we're a little bit late. Little technical difficulties. If you guys actually saw my Twitter, I just posted stuff about the vodka stream last night because for some reason it was taking forever. But yes.
But Dave, I do have a question for you.
Okay, what is it?
So where are the Joker shirts? where are the Joker shirts?
Thing, man, never gonna live that one down. I love it.
Never. You've lived down letting me sign off. That one's moved on.
Exactly.
But now it's gonna be Joker shirts.
It's gonna be the Joker shirts. And I love it. Please don't let me live that down. Please. I was tempted to wear my Joker shirt tonight too, but I wore my Batman, of course, Zack Snyder's Justice League shirt because I was like, all right, I'll grab something Batman.
I've actually worn all of my Foot Action shirts except for the Flash.
Nice.
Like, I'm sorry. I bought a shitload of shirts. I mean,
see, I got the Cyborg shirt and this one. That's the only ones I got.
I got them all, and so the only one I haven't. I wore Aquaman like last Sunday, and so now it's like Flash. I'm waiting for an opportunity to wear Flash.
There you go. But thank you guys for joining in. Oh, shut up, Jose. Yes, I see the score. The Dodgers-Giants game. Shut your face.
That's fine. Hey, Dave, I got something that's gonna make you feel better.
Okay, good.
What? Okay, here. This will because this is something that's happening tonight.
Oh,
so there you go.
Yes, Anya Taylor-Joy. Those pretty eyes, man. Yeah, she's hosting Saturday Night Live.
She's looking into your soul.
She really is. Like, I'm hypnotized right now. I mean, we're gonna be talking about just man, she'd maybe even be a good Poison Ivy live action. I don't know. A lot of people are kind of, when talking about Batgirl, I could see her being a good Batgirl.
See, I see her more kind of like tonight's episode.
Mm-hmm.
She's got that film. She's got more of that femme fatale kind of thing.
Yeah,
going for
maybe not so much a Barbara, a Babs, but yeah, more of a Pam, I guess you could say. Maybe
I'd be down for it. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm so looking forward to talking about this episode. I just watched it this afternoon, and it's been a while since I've watched this one. I just remember having very fond memories of it, and so I got notes, and I can bust out the Mondo book.
Ooh, we got the Mondo book.
Hold on, let's go ahead and bust that out because then we're gonna get talking about the episode, and then we're not gonna have time. And this is a good one. Like this one's like this one. Let's see. Make sure I hit my microphone. Let's see if I can get this close up enough.
Look at that. That's pretty cool right there. Her just posing on that rose.
I know. So that's an awesome poster.
Yes, very much so. Yes, guys, we're talking about, of course, Pretty Poison, the first episode that we get introduced to Poison Ivy. And I remember last week I was drawing a blank. I'm like, what exactly happens? And then all of a sudden, like you said, as soon as I put it on, I went, oh yeah. I remember this. That Harvey Dent. I totally was just, and it was funny too because I watched this with my mom last week, and of course I rewatched it again today just to take the notes. But I almost want to call this episode No. That's what this episode could actually be called as well, because she kind of loses her shit a little bit throughout this episode, specifically towards the end. We kind of see the crazy start coming at it.
Well, and that's what I think is really interesting is that you don't see her go like Looney Tunes until the end of the episode, which I think works really well because it really kind of becomes like a de-evolution of her character till you start to realize, oh, you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay.
Yeah, letting it out. I could see why Harvey likes you, or loves you, I guess you could say. But yeah, it starts off, and we are actually, when the title card is introduced, which of course, another beautiful title card right there. You hear the Poison Ivy theme. Shirley Walker, of course, just killing it again. There's actually there's something that the theme, of course, throughout this whole episode is fantastic as per usual. But there's a part which I'm going to play late when we get to it that kind of reminded me of something recent. I went, oh, that's interesting. So we'll get to that.
Ooh,
but
I'm going to be interested to find out what that is because I took I made a specific score note myself.
Okay,
so.
cool. Yeah, and so we do get right off the bat, we get introduced to that Poison Ivy theme, and we get it. I guess you could say it's 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years where we see, and I love how it starts too because you see somebody's digging. You don't exactly know who it is, and of course you see the rose, the plant. She takes it out, and then of course what's going to be happening is we got the new DEA Harvey Dent they're gonna break ground. Him and Bruce are gonna break ground on a new Gotham penitentiary, and that's kind of where this whole thing starts because when you do that, guess what? You got to dig up some plants and some of that stuff.
I love how the entire flashback had that sepia wash to it. It's like I love it. It's like flashback.
It's like without even like being like right in your face that it's like it wasn't like a wavy thing or something like that. It's just it's a flashback because like you said, that little filter that they put on there. So naturally, and we also see her. I mean, you don't know exactly it's her, but of course, it's her. She sees the newspaper headline in the picture and she rips it out and kind of hangs it up, and you're kind of going, huh, interesting. And then, of course, it just flashes forward 5 years, and yes, the new penitentiary is there, and then we go right into a breakout. Right.
Before we get to that, though, okay. I love the T of the caption saying, "A better, safer Gotham." 5 years later,
all right,
over a prison break, and I'm just like, oh,
nope. Still the same Gotham.
Well, I love that because I think maybe as a kid I understood that, but as an adult, you just go, it's the sarcasm is so strong
right there. I know it's like they're that they put that there on purpose. And then somebody's breaking out through helicopter, by the way. I mean, it's just land a helicopter, get in, get out. But then of course you got Batman that's going to be somewhere perched up somewhere, and sure enough we see him and he just goes just grappling hooks right to that thing, not giving a shit while he's supposed to be going to dinner with his good buddy Harvey Dent and his new girlfriend. And I love how they do that whole
the back and forth.
Yeah, it's like that, it's like the common kind of almost like a comic book or superhero trope where he's supposed to be somewhere and those people or that person is talking about like, oh, Bruce, he's, I know everything about him and this, that, and this. And it just goes back and forth. It's a good little back and forth with Harvey explaining to Pam about Bruce. And I love the fact that he goes, we know everything about each other. It's like, do you? Do you, Harv?
And even the jokes are on the nose, and I don't care. Like that. Well, he sure knows how to get his kicks as he kicks the guy who, by the way, looks like one of the Three Stooges.
Yes, it looks like Mo.
He definitely looks like Mo. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Okay. And they get dangerously close too. Like Batman tackles him to like the very edge. I mean, showing those beautiful shots when you see those like high-rise shots that look down in the animation. By the way, I think the animation is pretty. You think it's pretty good in this episode?
No, this is like I would say this is up. Like if I was talking like high tier, mid tier, lower tier, we've gone through a couple of lower tier episodes recently.
Definitely.
This is definitely what I would call like a higher mid tier because it's got a boxier character design. I know this studio well enough because this is the same studio that animates the episode I Am the Night.
Oh, okay.
The one where Gordon's in the hospital through the entire episode. Mm-hmm. That's the episode that always reminds me of this animation studio. So watching Pretty Poison, I was like, oh, okay, it's this studio because it's not on leather wings. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely not, say, Christmas with the Joker or...
Yeah, definitely not that. No, the animation is looking pretty good in this. But like I said, it's like Batman tackles Mo. I guess we'll call him Mo. Yeah. Why I oughta and so but you get you get dangerously close to that edge, and I was like, damn, Batman just went for it right there. And I'm like, he didn't give a shit. He's like, I'm taking this guy down. And then to the point where even Mo, like when Batman disappears and the cops show up, he just passes out. And then he's just like, he had big wings, which we see later. But then of course they're meeting up at the Rose Cafe. Of course, convenient that it's the Rose Cafe. One thing and this is just my brain that just when it comes to Poison Ivy, wouldn't you think that she would just be strictly on a carnivore diet? Like she wouldn't want to eat plants because
that is an excellent question.
Yeah,
because
she obviously goes crazy when and calls when plants get murdered or dug up. It's like murder. Wouldn't like eating plants also be considered murder towards her? So she would be like, no, F these humans. Or F every living creature that destroys plants. So wouldn't she just eat just nothing but meat?
Well, that's an excellent question. Unless she has the philosophical idea that at least if she's eating the plant, it's like the idea of almost like Native Americans with hunting. It's like when they killed an animal, they used everything. Yeah. Like everything was used for something. So at least it's not like you dig up a flower just to put in a potted plant for it to slowly die for some sort of aesthetic reason. At least if you're eating it, it's participating in some sort of circle of life process for sustenance, and that it will, be part of it actually is being part of like what nature intended versus just
makes sense
pollution or deforestation or aesthetically digging up a flower just to put it on your desk.
Yeah,
I could see maybe that being a character trait of hers. And it's funny, we'll get to this because did you get the PDF I sent you earlier?
I did, but for some reason I couldn't open it.
Okay,
I don't know why.
There was some weird thing.
Mention that. Sorry,
I'm going to bring this up later, but a few years ago, a PDF of the writer's Bible for this show started making the rounds online. And if you search it, you can find it's like a 133 page PDF. And it includes like the backstory that for a lot of these characters was never explained in the show, but it was there to inform writers about the psychology of the characters. And so there's some really cool, interesting backstory about Pamela Isley that I think specifically for this episode, once I heard this, I can't remember if I heard this on the Arkham sessions or on Fat Man on Batman First. Both of them talked about it. There's some really deep psychological underpinnings for Pamela Isley that Bruce Timm and Paul Dini and Alan Burnett like cooked up for these characters.
Okay. Yeah. If it opened obviously on my laptop. When you sent it to me, I was out and about and tried to do it on my phone. And I think it was just because it's like a big file and it just was like the phone, the mobile, everything just wasn't working. And then when I got home, I forgot. So humor guidelines. The humor in our version of Batman should arise naturally. Oh, okay. So there's a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of drawings too at the beginning of this. That's
lots of sketches you'll even recognize that later became like promo art.
Yeah, seriously.
But so listen to this. This is the backstory that they gave Pamela Isley for the show. When she was a child, homely, Pamela Isley's only friends were the plants she tended in her family's greenhouse. Then in high school, the shy girl blossomed into an attractive young woman and suddenly found herself beset with would-be boyfriends. Insecure Pamela was scared by the attention and withdrew even more. Then one day, while she was working alone in the greenhouse, a gang of young toughs surprised and attacked her. During the struggle, some heat lamps shattered, sparking a fire. Pamela escaped, but as she watched the greenhouse burn, she swore she would find a way to use and humiliate all men for the way she was abused.
Oh my God, that really explains so much about her. That is just that's the backstory. Okay, so that's why. I mean, because I mean, we'll get there, but certain events similar kind of happen, and you can see why she starts really losing her mind towards the end.
I know. I mean,
that's awesome.
That's what's amazing about this show. Okay.
Yes. So there you go. A little deep dive into the backstory of all this. That's what's so great about this. See, we're learning stuff, guys. This is what's so great. So obviously we get to obviously Batman takes out Mo, and I forgot that he also says like, "I am your worst nightmare," which is always just a good line. That's a great line. Yeah, with Kevin Conroy, just bam. So then, of course, he's late. He's late to meeting Harvey and Pam.
Another Conroy cameo, by the way.
Shit. See, I didn't catch this one. See, I got to pay attention more to the voices. Why I was doing that good at first, and now I'm just going. Now I'm like paying attention to like other little things that like. Why isn't Pam Isley a meat eater? Well, that's what I'm thinking about more.
See, and that's why you missed the cameo because that's what you're working on.
Totally.
Conroy was the voice of Andre, the French waiter.
Ah, well, there it is. Didn't even catch that.
You're too busy looking at her plate.
I know, exactly. I'm so busy like, and then the fact that they're like they have desserts on the plate. I'm like, are you gonna eat the desserts? What's going on with that? Are they just gonna leave it there? Jeez. No, but yeah. So well, it's funny before that because Bruce is running late, and then I mean, I love seeing this part with the dynamic between Bruce and Alfred because it's just like Alfred knows he has plans. He's running late because obviously he was stopping a prison break, that tends to run over time. Which is like, man, you did a prison break at what time? Like what? Dinner time? Like 5, 6 o'clock? That's not a good time to do a prison break. And then even before that too, when you see, because there's 2 spots where Gordon literally gets a phone call and he rushes out of his office like something's happening. And then of course we get Bullock and his fat ass who just can't, you got to go back and get that donut.
Oh, and first appearance of Renee Montoya.
Yes, that's right. We see Montoya for the first time. She's right there following Gordon. But yeah, we get that. And yeah, we get it twice, which is pretty cool. I like the fact that happens. But I like the dynamic between Bruce and Alfred because, it was just like a routine of Alfred was ready. Like when the Batmobile comes in, they're already talking about the restaurant. Bruce is literally asking him, is it good food? Alfred is saying, yes, it is. It's exquisite. And he's already got his suit ready. And the car is already outside idling. I mean, you see the system of Bruce and Alfred. I love it.
May I recommend the trout amandeur, sir?
Mm-hmm.
I just like
it's such a good scene. It's such a good dynamic right there. If you want to just nail down Alfred and Bruce right there, where literally has to do the transition of Batman back into Bruce, and then they get to the Rose Cafe and they're having a good time. And Pam has to leave and gives Harvey a nice big kiss. That just Bruce. Of course, has to look. I mean, I don't know if anybody's been in that situation where somebody's, it is, you just like,
the PDA. We're just kind of like,
hi guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm right here. And then he's literally just, or just, looking at his watch. It's like, yeah, I get it, Bruce. We get it. We've been there. A lot of people have been there, but they're in love, I guess. Well,
they've been dating for a week and they're getting married.
Oh, I know. That's the big bombshell that. Doesn't Bruce do like a spit take?
No, yeah, he does. Yeah. He absolutely does a spit take. Of course, this was after when Pamela walks out of the restaurant. Did you not get Jessica Rabbit vibes?
Oh, big time. I mean, that's what this is the joke that we were saying last week, and even online is like, we're simping hard for these cartoon redheads. And I mean, I tell you what, I mean, she's walking out and she's just doing that walk, that strut, and every guy and the waiter is like, oh, like, I mean, they're all checking her out. And it's like, yeah, she's hot. She's got red hair. She's got the stretch. She's got these big green eyes, that it just stick out, man. And it's hard.
And she's got that strapless number.
Yes. I mean, you can't help but just, especially being young ones. I mean, yeah, come on. We're not gonna
I was 10. Yes. I was 10. Come on.
Yes. I mean, come on. We're at that age. You just never know where it's just like, what's happening? Why am I feeling flustered? Anyways, so then, I mean, we're almost feeling like Harvey at this point because he's, as he's explaining that he wants to marry her, and Bruce is going, what are you doing, dude? You met her a week ago. He's, of course, doing the whole, is it hot in here kind of thing. And taking a drink and everything, and then he of course passes out into his chocolate mousse.
I still love Bullock's line. You took a face dive into your chocolate mousse.
Yeah, I know, right? And it's very true. And I was kind of wondering, I'm like, are they going to eat it? Nah, Harvey's just going to pass out into it. And Bruce is like, stop joking, Harvey. And then it's like, okay, something happened to Harvey. And of course, they rush him to the hospital. And they're all wondering what's going on. Let's see, where was I at here on my notes here? Yeah, the guy's checking. Of course, I put that. So he passes out, and then and then I think this is where Gordon again rushes.
Yeah, Gordon gets that.
Someone poisoned Harvey Dent or something like that. Yeah,
Dent's at the hospital.
Yeah,
critical condition. Let's move.
Yeah, and then of course Bullock has to get that donut before he goes in there. Tell you what, the whole donut trope. It just seems like, I get it. Like I don't know, like to think that. And I even my uncle's a cop, and I even asked him, I'm like, is that like a big thing? He goes, you know what? Not really, because if you don't want to, if you have to rush to get to like somewhere, you don't want to have like a belly full of donuts. I mean, yeah, coffee, sure, maybe like, a little bit of, but that trope of like doing that. I mean, I guess it's just easy to just grab for, and it could just be like a carbo load and a sugar high. But man, I would imagine like 20 minutes later, you're just like, ugh. You're just
if you just had one donut and a cup of coffee, you'd be good. It's
good, but if this is Harvey Bullock we're talking.
Oh no, that fat ass is eating the whole freaking dozen.
Exactly. So it's like, come on, Harvey, you don't need that. So they go to the hospital. They find out that, of course, that he was poisoned, and Bruce is wondering if it was food poisoning. And then we start seeing some detective skills where, the doctor was looking at the blood, and this is one of the clips that I brought up here. And what's interesting about it is the fact that there's something that happens with the score that reminds me of something recent. And see if you spot it here when let me share the audio.
Okay.
Let's see if you kind of hear it. All right, so here's the scene right here.
The antidote and fast.
So of course Bruce is like, all right, time to get you a detective. Did you hear it?
It's hard to hear over the computer, but
I get that. Okay, so did you hear that? I mean, there's right here, you hear a little of like the strings.
Yeah.
Okay, you hear that in BVS.
Yeah, you do.
Yes. So there was that just stood out because it instantly made me go, wait a minute. That's like something Hans Zimmer used for a BVS when it came to Batman, So that's just like, it just stood out, and I was like, oh wow, look at that. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Well, this is something else that makes this episode stronger than the last few that we've been discussing, is because this episode goes back to giving us more of that noir feel that we love about the show. I mean, there's detective work, there's deep psychology, the psychological motivation to the character's actions. Like those two Joker episodes that we talked about, there was nothing there.
Yeah, there wasn't. It was just classic Batman versus the Joker kind of thing. This is actually Bruce going, okay, well, I'm going to do my own little detective work, which he does, brings the sample back to the Batcave, and basically knows where, he learns about the poison and where he can get like the antidote. But of course, the flower, which is called, it's called the Roses Ci Valaris or something like that. I don't know. Nicknamed Wild Thorny Rose. That's easier to say. I had to go back. I was like, it's because Alfred reads it off, like the little paper that comes out of the computer.
Mm-hmm.
He reads off the thing, but yeah, it was called like the Roses Ci Valaris or something like that. And it's like nicknamed Wild Thorny Rose. So every rose has its thorn, right? Going back to that Poison song. Ho! Yeah. Connection. Sorry, I got a little excited there.
That's fine.
I mean, like, hey, the band Poison made a song called "Every Rose Has Its Thorn," and this one definitely does. So then they find out, of course, that it's extinct. So no antidote. So what do you do now?
Nothing. You got nothing.
You got nothing. It's just funny because Batman was so confident, or Bruce was confident, and I love the fact that he was just like, man, he got in that suit real quick, and then he was just ready to just go, and but got no antidote. So now, he's got to make his way over there. But yeah, then we get the interrogation scene with the employees of the restaurant from Bullock, of course, who we actually have that clip too, because it's just Bullock being dumb. It was right after the I don't know, that's the wrong one. It was right after this right here. Boom, boom, boom. And then we got Bullock, of course, interrogating just the way that Bullock does in this right here. Oops, I forgot to share the audio. Damn the audio.
I was so proud of you because you actually got it last time.
I did. I was like, see, sometimes I'm just clicking away and I'm clicked too quickly. So
what did you put in this mousse?
Mousse. Chocolate.
Eggs, cream, strychnine.
No strychnine. The beach.
So did it. Talk.
Hey, I just cleaned the dishes.
That's it. I just cleaned the tables. Yeah. We got that. So yeah, I went out of order, and then we go to the Batcave where they figure that stuff out. But yeah,
but it's fine because I just love that. I love because he is just being so serious bad cop, and it's just like
in their faces, man, in their faces. And I imagine his breath probably smells like whiskey, coffee, and donuts. Probably cigars too. Yeah, he's probably got a nice little combination of scent going there. And then of course, let's see. And then there's a point where Pam actually shows up at the hospital because Bruce called her, and this is where things start getting suspicious for Bruce because you could start telling that she starts putting on this act.
Well, it's also there's this wonderfully subtle moment, and I appreciate how it's animated because it looks awkward because it's supposed to be, because you can tell that when Bruce takes Pamela to her car, she tries to kiss him.
Yes.
And Bruce does like the cool kind of, how about the hug? And,
that's what I was going to ask. I'm like, did she just try to kiss him? Because like right when she was saying goodbye, her mouth is kind of like, and then all of a sudden she like looks like she goes, and then he just swiftly just gives her a hug. And I'm kind of going, did she try to? Well, obviously, because I think prior to that, didn't she also like she clipped like another one of the
it was the same clipping because it was a co-financing, like they give Harvey and Bruce co-credit for the creation of Stonegate.
Okay.
So
yes. So she wanted to go after him too.
Right, because he's in the picture.
He funded it. Yeah.
He funded it. So she's got just as much reason to go after Bruce as she does to go after Harvey. So yeah, she was going to try to, work her feminine wiles and get Bruce in there too. And Bruce was like,
not having it. I mean, but that shows that Bruce is, he's a noble dude because, this is one of his best friend's woman. He wasn't, she tried to make a pass at him and he was like, huh? And then that's where he really started getting suspicious because on the drive home, it's
got that cut though, to remember that she kissed him before he passed out. And I love that detective thing because once again, very subtle, very visual for a cartoon. Like,
yes.
They didn't bother to like have dialogue to go, oh, Alfred, he kissed her right before he passed out. No, they just cut to the scene, cut back, and you see that look, and it happens while they're hugging, and he has that look as he looks at her, and it's just that side eye, and you're like, okay.
Now Bruce is getting it, and then of course he calls to Alfred to start researching her, and then when he gets back, this is the part where I got confused, like with the other Bat cave moment, because Bruce shows up and he's normally, in his normal clothes. And then as a researching, he got dressed
really fast.
Yeah. It's got to be easier to put that costume on, I guess, more than because there's not really any armor, I guess you could say. So maybe
it's just tight.
Yeah, it's just tights. But they bring up, of course, her, like her driver's license and all, and what she's studied. Obviously, she's got like what they talked about, like in botany and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's got a PhD. She got a PhD in botany, but she's working for a cosmetics company.
Nightshade.
It's deadly.
Yeah, it's deadly. Yeah. So she works on, of course, scents, perfumes, and whatnot. So, So we got that, and then of course we get to the towards the end of this episode where Batman's going to show up at the greenhouse to he's going to break in as she's wrapping things up. She puts on some music, and then of course do the whole thing where you got that the separator thing, the thing that folds out where somebody gets dressed behind, which is always nice. She takes the hairnet off, doing that whole thing.
She's getting sexy.
Exactly. When you're 10 years old, you're kind of going, what? Huh?
Anytime someone went behind one of those little dressing things, it was like, ooh la la.
You always see the clothes go flop over.
Over, yes. and maybe you get like a shadow silhouette through the screen.
Yeah. Any little bit right there. You're just like, ooh. So of course Batman's breaking in, but little does he know that he's gonna break into the little shop of horrors. Little shop of horrors. Yeah, I know. It's like, hey, guess what? She's first off, you're gonna. I mean, he steps on a floor that just gives out, and he almost falls into like a pit of just like craziness, and then pulls himself out because, of course, he's Batman. But then realizes the vines, what the hell, they're moving, and then he's basically stuck in a big, huge Venus flytrap, which is, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I'm trying to think obviously we've had a live action Poison Ivy with Batman and Robin. We saw how that went. Yeah, but I'm just wondering, man, I don't know if you ever played the Arkham games. Have you ever played the Arkham video? Yeah,
played them.
Okay,
I have. You're talking about a guy who has completed them over 100%. All the Riddler trophies.
Thank you.
All the things. Like,
isn't that crazy how that is? Like when you finish. I remember when I played Arkham Asylum and I got done with it and it was like just the initial story and it goes, yeah, you completed 22%. I went, what the fuck? Like 22%?
Oh no. When I finished the game, I think I was already at 100 or something because I was looking for all of the Arkham files the entire time. I was looking for all the Riddler trophies. Yeah. Oh yeah,
There's just so much there. But I bring that up because I always like the Poison Ivy stages. I mean, geez.
Oh man, especially and I love the fact there was always destruction afterwards. So for the rest of the game, all the plant stuff was still there.
Yeah. No, it was just always good. So I'm like, I mean, there's so much you could do there. Like, we all know that Margot Robbie's been wanting to get Poison Ivy into the new movie world, and hopefully they'll be able to do that because there is a lot there. Like I said, you got like these plants that are just these big, huge creatures. Like we got this big, huge Venus flytrap that's about to chomp on Batman. And of course, he kicks the teeth, which that seemed like poor little plant. It's just like breaks the teeth. But
what I think is interesting is that in this universe, Poison Ivy isn't a metahuman. At least you never get the sense that she's a metahuman. It's just like she's just really good with plants,
and she has darts.
Yes,
she just and she just has over her gauntlet right here. She's got like a little dart gun thing that she shoots, and I mean that makes for some really cool Batman dodging sequences, of course.
But I think it's also fun here. This was a score part I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
Because when she's getting dressed and then Batman's getting all like wrapped up in the Venus flytrap thing, I love how the score has like this weird, dreamy 50s vibe going on while she's like changing and he's getting all wrapped up. And it's just kind of like this, Mr. Sandman, give me a dream. And it's just this weird kind of, it sounds almost as if this world is sort of stuck in the 40s, you could almost think that this was like the music that was playing like when she was younger growing up, but it kind of like has that pin up.
Let's see if I pulled this right here mainly for the more, and let's see if this actually has a little bit of that.
Oh, please call me Poison Ivy.
Maybe not.
You see, Harvey had to pay for his crime.
Nah, I don't think it has it right here.
No, it was probably playing like right before this.
Yeah, you're right. But look at that Poison Ivy costume, man. Come on.
Yeah, Bruce Timm talked about in an introduction about how they really simplified it to just make it basically a bathing suit.
Okay. Yeah, the bathing suit. But this is where you start seeing some of the crazy come out right here.
Oh yeah.
Powers are on his hands.
and then she oh.
You know, and I love how her hips, like she has to do the little boom.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean for the
Didn't
psycho
mean to lose my
woman to come
shit
out
for you.
I mean, you really start seeing the crazy coming out. I love that part right there. And then let's see, and then of course they do actually a really cool shot too, where she applies, right here she applies. Well, no, she already did it, sorry. Where is it at? There's they do like a close-up right here of the
yes,
and it's just like, oh man, I mean, come on, I mean, good, this is just a good animation
So
right
his
there.
fate was sealed.
Whoop.
Oh, and I also love the fact that she pulls the lipstick out of her cleavage.
Yeah, of course. That's where that's
I'm
where
sorry,
you keep it,
what
Scott.
woman? It's one of those comic book things. I'm sorry. Like, what woman uses her cleavage like a clutch? I mean,
it's a common trope for a lot of things, but I mean, why not? I mean, essentially, it kind of is like another pocket, I guess you could say.
Dude, your dude hat is showing way too hard.
I know, right? I just got canceled. No, but very much so. But I just I love that, and then I love. I mean, Batman has some really good leg strength. If right here, I mean,
oh yeah, when he collapses the sprinkler system. Oh yeah,
he. I mean, he's like showing those legs right there. Yes.
Yeah. He didn't miss leg day.
No, that's just why you don't skip leg day right there. And then he finally realizes, oh wait, I got a blade in my glove right here, and I'm just gonna break out of it. And then there's the first no. There's the first no. I love it. No.
And I love how she's got to clutch her, like it's causing her physical pain.
Right. And and then of course this causes a chain reaction. Oh, well, she of course shoots the darts, and she ends up shooting the creature too. And then of course the lights fall down from Batman, of course, bringing him down with his grappling hook. And then we're gonna hear the best no, I guess you could say, of the whole thing when the fire starts right here.
Which, once again, going back to the writer's Bible,
exactly,
this is some serious trauma for her right now.
Oh yeah, she's seeing. I mean, pretty much the fire engulfing the trees and all everything is it's like her entire family is being burned alive, man. So she's losing her shit right now. I mean,
I also, by the way, I want to talk about how the animators got away with some cool stuff, because all that chlorophyll coming out of that Venus flytrap is totally their way of going, okay, we can't do blood, but the plant can ooze out gallons of chlorophyll.
Exactly. And it nobody will care because
no one will care. No.
Yeah, it's just a plant. We can get away with that. You almost think oh man, they probably love that. They're hey, we can finally show some goriness, even though it's a plant. It's still something, guys. It's still something. Go buck wild, please. Let it just spill crazy.
Spill, ooze, just go Tarantino on this plant.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on,
everywhere. Just let it go like a fire hose, please. And she loses her mind, and then she, of course, grabs her little rose, her little thorny rose, because that's what this whole, basically that's what the whole episode's about, is her saving this specific rose that she, of course, uses to poison people. And we forgot to mention too that she does kiss Batman. So at this time, Batman is kind of, feeling woozy. And then when all this is happening, he's almost falling down. But guess what? I mean, again, strong legs, strong arm, because he's holding himself up, as well as the plant, as he reveals.
The bottle for the weed. I have always remembered that line.
It's a good line.
It's a great line. And I also love it because he's dangling this potted plant as if he's threatening to kill her child or something.
Exactly. I mean, it's just, if it would just go, it would just, the vase would just break, and then you could probably still salvage it, even if it hit the ground or something like that too. But then again, maybe there was a plant thing down there that would destroy, I don't know, but it is funny how she's just my baby. I mean, you see, again, the
she's
trauma.
Genuinely concerned for that thing.
I mean, she's pretty much almost cuddling with it, rubbing her, oh my God, man. She is so obsessed. It is. It's awesome. And then, I mean, that like I'm glad you actually read that thing from the writers thing, because it just makes sense now, because you really are seeing a lot of the trauma of Pam Isley right here. And it's great, which I think they were trying. I mean, again, going back to doing like a Black Label type movie. I mean, you could do one just called Ivy and kind of investigate this whole thing where, there could be
the eco-terrorist angle for her is fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you talk about like the way that Joker as the Black Label movie dealt with wealth disparity and one percenters and that whole thing, think about what you can do with environmentalism and eco-terrorism with I mean, it's all there. I mean, she's a character that was, and let's be honest, she was a character that was created, I think, in the 70s.
Yeah.
So
she's not as old as some of the other ones.
No, she isn't. So, and actually, this animated series was her first, like, out of comic appearance, because she was never in the 66 show.
Yeah.
She was never in Super Friends. I mean, they got to start from ground zero with her, kind of like what they did with Man-Bat, which is something I still think is interesting, is that these early episodes were getting these Batman villains that had never seen the light of day outside of a comic page in these early episodes.
That's what's great about it. I mean, I think that's what this series is really given like a lot of people, is the fact that, if you're not an avid comic book reader, I mean, you're getting a lot of good backstories when it comes to his rogues gallery, and this is like a perfect example. I mean, wait till we get to Heart of Ice. I mean, that's like, oh my god, that's just top notch right there. But but this is up there too, man. I mean, we obviously we talked about the Scarecrow episode too. That was a deep dive, but I think it was a little on the campy side, but still pretty damn good. But with this one, yes, you're really getting into the psyche of Pam, and then of course they get out. And now we cut to Harvey waking up in the hospital. Like, what happened? And this is what I love about this scene, because you're waking up and you're like, I have no idea what happened. You got Bruce there, and then he starts talking about maybe marrying Pam Isley, probably not a good idea. And then it's just like, okay, that would kind of suck to wake up after not knowing what happened, and then you were in love, and then all of a sudden you realize, wait, she tried to kill me. I mean, that's got to be, that's got to sting a little.
Well, not only that, it never occurred to me until this viewing, which once again, it's amazing about the show is that things can still be fresh after 30 years. But we as Batman fans would assume, because we know Poison Ivy does the love potion thing.
Yeah.
They never approached that in this episode. We're actually, if you just go on the superficial, what were explained in this episode, we're to believe that Harvey Dent, of his own volition, decided to marry this woman after a week, because the episode never tells us otherwise. However, comic book fans would probably, we're automatically applying the idea that she probably doused him with a love potion, but the show never told us that.
Well, or did it with the nightshade?
I don't know, but once again, but the show doesn't explain it or hang a lantern on it.
Yeah, it's not in our faces, but maybe it was like a subtle thing in the writing where, oh yeah, she does fragrances and it, and it just kind of gave the idea of like, oh yeah, when a woman puts this on, men are going to be flocking at their feet or something like that. So maybe that was kind of like, hey, we're not going to
wink.
Yeah, we're not going to actually just like explain it, but we're just going to kind of show you this. You figure it out for yourself. And here we are 30 years later going, oh.
Well, it's also because as a kid, you would, I mean, let's be honest, 10-year-old us, would we believe that you've met this woman for a week and you'd be willing to marry her? That is not a bridge too far for a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
you'd go, yes. That's how this works, right?
Right. Yeah. I thought when I grow up, I'm just going to fall in love with somebody, get married a week later. No, but yeah, I mean, I didn't think about that. That is a good point where we're not actually given that package. We're just like, hey, you get it. This is why. So maybe that's why they didn't. Well, now that I think about it, it's like when Harvey wakes up and now he's just kind of like, maybe he having the antidote, getting the poison out of his system, maybe some of that flushed out too. I mean, I'm thinking a little too deep with it, but maybe he's just like, yeah, she crazy. Like, why was I so like in love with her? I wonder if there would be like there was like an extra 10 seconds of that scene where he was just kind of like, maybe I'm not. Maybe you were right, Bruce, or something like that. I don't know.
Right. If there was a little more time. But once again, because we're talking about 22, 23-minute children's programming cartoon. I mean, this was it was economy.
Yeah.
And once again, this is why this is one of those strong episodes, because they told you just enough that you went with it. Exactly. And the story made sense.
And then we wrap up the episode with, of course, Pam in the state pen, or in the Gotham pen, where of course she where all this thing started. I like how she ends up in the place that she was very pissed exists.
I know, it's a great irony, even though you're like, shouldn't Cuckoo be in Arkham?
Yeah,
but
eventually she'll get there.
She'll get to Arkham, but I do understand the irony of, she's in Stonegate, the very place that destroyed like it's her whole psychological motivation of the episode.
It's a full circle. I love it. And then it's funny too, because when I actually watched this with my mom, because I think she actually watched it before even rewatching it again. She was going, "Why would they let her have the plant?"
We're gonna see that. Especially when we get to Arkham.
Yeah,
they get access to things. You're like,
can they really do that? I mean,
why would you do that?
Plant is kind of got some poison in it. I mean, and then when it comes to, I mean, I think this was like a thing that was really emphasized in the Harley Quinn show, is the fact that you have a plant anywhere near poison ivy, she's gonna utilize it to the max. I mean, it could be a little weed popping out of somewhere, and she's just like like that. It's like, careful, people. She can, but then again, that's taking the more meta-human approach.
Right. She's definitely a meta-human in the Harley Quinn show.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the more meta-human poison ivy. This is the more not so much. But it is kind of interesting that, I mean, I guess it's like, they want to keep the prisoner who tried to kill the DEA, the new DEA. The
DA. You keep saying DA. It's not the Drug Enforcement Agency. Where's your brain going tonight?
Sorry, my brain went to I don't know why I went to DEA. DA, the district attorney. Sorry, not the drug. And oh my God, there's my new brain fart for this week right there. DEA.
Wait, when is someone going to clip that out?
I know, somebody clip that out. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's waiting for the stream to end, and they're going to do it right away. Damn it! No, but the new DA. I mean, not the new DA. I guess you could say he's been there for 5 years, but still, it's like she tried to kill somebody. But I mean, I guess they want to still make their prisoners feel a little comfortable, and as long as she has that plant.
I know. I want to give a shout out. There's a podcast called the Arkham Sessions that they did. It's with Dr. Andrea Lenamendi, who actually, if you read that Snyder Cut piece from Vanity Fair, she's quoted in that article.
Yeah. I'm actually going to try to get her on the vodka stream soon.
Oh, she's really intriguing. She's a fan, but she's also a certified clinical psychologist. And they did an entire show where they broke down they did like what we're doing, but focused on the psychology in every episode. And she would talk about the idea, because her co-host, who I think is I'm not sure if I know it's her partner, it would go, why do you let them have that stuff?
See, I have to check that out. No, but I've been wanting to talk to her. I mean, when my friend Eric suggested, I was like, oh yeah, he suggested it before, and I'm like, it'd be kind of cool to talk to her about the psychology of Batman and stuff like that. I know she's taking a dive into that, so I'm gonna try to get her on the stream one of these days. That'd be a nice conversation. That should be pretty fun.
I love her handle on Twitter, at least what it used to be, because her handle used to be Arkham Asylum Doc.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
That's awesome. I think I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, I want to pick her brain when it comes to that because, I mean, kind of like what we're doing now and like diving into the psyche of Pam here, and we could tell, like, yeah, I mean, and then reading the little, I get what you read from the writer's description. I mean, it's all just hearing that, and then going through like the notes and everything. It's like, oh yeah, it all makes sense. It all makes sense.
Which is going to come really full circle when, I mean, we are like months, maybe years away from, but when we get to House and Garden, that episode, like this whole thing, I feel like comes completely, because that's actually her last appearance before we get to New Batman Adventures, like in the original 80 something order, House and Garden was her final appearance before season 3.
See, yeah, and I recognize the episode title, but I'm kind of going, what happened in that episode? But I'm sure same thing with this one. Put it on. Oh yeah, that's right. This happens. That. Oh yeah, that. Oh man, that. Yeah, it's gonna all come flooding back. But yep, that's the episode right there. Very, very good episode. Like, yeah, it's probably one of the better ones from the past couple of weeks that we've reviewed.
Yeah, especially after what's coming up next week.
What is next week?
The Underdwellers.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I'm sorry.
Oh man.
I'm gonna be roasting that. I'm gonna be roasting that episode.
I mean, this is an episode where it's just like, yeah. I mean, we'll touch bases with it, but I mean, I think you could. What you gather from that episode is Bruce just going, hey. You got these orphans, so obviously it's near and dear. You can make that correlation, but yeah, it's an interesting one. It's definitely.
But don't worry. After that one, we've got a good string after that one because the one after that is POV. Yes. I love POV because POV that was Rashomon before I knew what Rashomon was.
That is true. That's gonna be good, but of course we're gonna have to get through. The one where the guy has pet crocodiles or alligators. I don't even know. And it's like, oh, yeah, all right, you live in the sewer. It's pretty funny. But this episode was great. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed us breaking it down. Do you have anything else you want to add to it, Scott?
No, I just once again by the way, I did have something I want to add because I want to give kudos to Diane Pershing, who's the voice of Poison Ivy.
Very well.
That is an incredible performance. She lands this character. Like, I think this is her best known role. Like, I looked her up online and she was like a writer. She did like TV shows and was a backup singer and has done other voice work too, but like this is the crown jewel of her resume is being Poison Ivy, and she nails it.
Absolutely nails it. I mean, just with like even with that scene where she's like about to lose it and goes, just the changing of the voices. And like I said, she said the way she says no and just yells it out. I just love that. I love
what she's got? She's got like that Lauren Bacall kind of, that 50, like I said, that she played, they wrote her as a femme fatale, and she's got that voice quality that's like maybe you had like one too many cigarettes and
a little deepness to
it. Oh yeah.
No, it's very well done. And it's a great episode. So all right, guys. Well, there you go. Pretty Poison. Great. This is episode 5. Like I said, we're doing the production order. So next week, like I said, we just discussed the Underdwellers. That's right. Yay!
Yay!
The light. Yeah. Oh God. Oh yeah. It's
the things I remember about this episode.
I know. It's interesting. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be next week is gonna be an episode where we're just gonna be cracking a lot of wise when it comes to this episode. The Underdwellers. We're gonna be laughing and we're gonna be roasting it, like you said, for sure. It'll be fun. But anyways, guys, appreciate it. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff. And Batman the Fan-imated stream is on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and Spotify. Just type it in. I'll provide the links down below. And if you can't watch, you can listen. You can listen to our great voices, and including great voices. Scott, go ahead and promote yourself.
Well, of course, you can find me on Twitter at ScottDC27. You can find my podcast, the DC Film Squadcast, wherever podcasts can be found. Pretty much every place he just said, where you can find the podcast of this stream. And of course, you can find us on Vero, Facebook, YouTube, and the entire network of shows at squadcastmedia.com. But also, don't forget going down below to Dave's Teespring, where we're going to have merchandise.
Right. I'm trying to make some Batman Fan-imated stream shirts, which, of course, we got some great drawings from Alessandro, Mask of Shy. And I figured, you know what? Let's put some of these on some shirts. So look forward to that. Those will be coming soon. So
you ever wanted to wear my face?
Of course. You want our faces on your chest? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen right there.
Wow. Yeah. You went there. Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. That's what I do, man. It's definitely what I do. But thank you, Scott, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Until next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Hopefully, it should be. I don't think there's any more birthdays. Like I said, I think we're pretty good for a little bit there. So, all right, guys, we love you, and we'll talk to you later.